Hey everybody, welcome to the Purr Play Sip Podcast. Hopefully I say podcast, it's our YouTube channel, podcast. You know we're going to turn it into something, so we try to orchestrate everything. This is new, this is fantastic. So we're cutting our second video, same day as we're cutting our first. If you've listened to us, we're a Purrfect Day Cat Cafe located in Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as Covington, Kentucky on 8th Street, which is right across the river from Cincinnati in the tri-state area. So we're excited today. This podcast is all about sharing how we got started. It's one of the more, we felt like this was an important one. Number one, because it's a very, very common question. And number two, I don't know, it's something, it's endearing to us, right? Like thinking back all this time. Like we had said in our previous podcast, we set a goal to do 300 adoptions for the year. We did 30 in the first 3 days. Here we average between 150 and 180 adoptions or more within a month. Last year we did 1,700 adoptions. So it has been an amazing journey. Very rewarding. Obviously, we want to thank our community, but I thought we might tell you guys a little bit about how it got started and all that fun stuff. It involved me for the most part, crazy me, and then I say crazy because crazy enough to do it. And then, of course, I want to let Robert and Rosemary talk a little bit about not only how it went, but some of the funny stories. Because when we started this thing, you have to understand, most of the population had no idea what a cat cafe. If you're watching this, you may not even know what a cat cafe is. We'll explain that later, but in a different podcast. But I had sold my business. I was working in advertising, and I was actually traveling with my wife. She was working. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And should I give him the edgy version of this? I think I will, because she doesn't. So I was in Charleston, South Carolina, and we had just taken a tour. It's a beautiful city, very historic. And we took this big old tour, and I see this sign out there that says lap dance is $15. I guess I can't because kids don't watch YouTube as much. I don't know. So I ran over there, and my wife's like, don't do that, don't do that. And I said, no, I think I know what this is, because they had a little cat in the corner of it. So we ran into Pounce Cat Cafe. So cute, super creative. And I asked him if we could come in Saturday at 2 o'clock. And he said there was a 4.5 hour wait. And I said, what business has a 4.5 hour wait Saturday at 2 o'clock? And that's when everything just took flight from there. I want to thank Trisha. She's amazing. She's been so supportive of me. Her words were literally, you have to do this. This is amazing. And as well, as I said, I have to bring this back to Louisville. This was successful here, and then I said I have to bring this back to Covington, where I was born and raised, not Covington, but Northern Kentucky. And so that's when we were born. And I ended up approaching Kentucky Humane Society, and I had a friend that knew them and was on their board. You want to come on up, or you want to fight somebody? Ferris, our alpha. Yeah. So I ended up talking to Karen from KHS, and she was like, I don't know about this. They had never heard of it. I was one of only about 40 to 50 at the time. We opened up on August the 8th of 2018. And they wanted to do the research. They wanted to call Pounce, and they wanted to talk to other people. Met a second time, asked a few more questions, met a third time, and they're like, all right, we're ready. We love this. We're ready to support it. And we got started, and it was so much fun. And so I started trying to find locations, and this was amazing to me. I was explaining to people what it is that I was doing. I got rejected 4 different times. People saying, oh, no, I'm sorry. I had the money. I had the concept. I had a pitch and everything. And I got rejected 4 times. Finally, we are here in the Highlands, and Highlands is very eclectic. It's very unique, open to creativity. Everything's local. And if you've ever not been here, you got to do it. It is 2 miles worth of 1,000 different restaurants and fun things to do. And we met with the landlord, Brian, and Brian said, I have to have this concept. This is amazing. Let's make it happen. So that's when we renovated this whole space and opened up on August the 8th. And it was absolutely crazy.
It still is.
It still is. So, and amazing things. And of course, we're going to thank the community of supporters out here. But a lot of people are very interested in how that story goes. And what I call it is thinking outside of the litter box. I think creative is the new safe. We'll go on that one a little bit later when I get to hear myself talk for a very long time about business models. I think corporations can learn from this. If you are not figuring out how to differentiate yourself in the market, that's 101. I'm not teaching most corporate people, but what are you willing to go to? How far are you willing to go? And I looked at this much like flying axes. When you throw axes at a target at a bar, it's just crazy enough to work. And it has been amazingly supported by our community. And we started it up. We had a lot of great, right? We had a lot of great team members. Mm-hmm. We were ready for everything. Well, we weren't ready. That's a lot. But we were definitely ready in heart. I mean, like, we were so energized, so worn out. These guys were working like 12, 15-hour days. I was sleeping here one night at least. And so I thought I might, look, I can't even go off of my notes anymore. If you had a cat at home, yes, this is Farrah, by the way. She is sassy, but as you could tell, she's very, very sweet.
And we are hoping, by the time we publish this, that she will have been adopted.
Yes.
But we're still looking for her people.
And the averages say that is quite likely. She's been here, like we always feel sorry for the kitties. Oh, she's been here the longest. Probably
4 weeks.
Right?
4 weeks.
That's a month. And we're really excited about that because the average cat here is only here about a week to 2 weeks. The average kitten here is about a day to 2 days or whatever. We're working on those numbers, but I thought I'd turn it over to you guys and share a little bit about what that was like. Well, first of all, we need to go right? Okay. So we met up. Tell them how you guys got hired first. Okay.
So I had just retired, was getting ready to retire from teaching. I was a middle and high school teacher, a competitive speech, debate, and theater coach. And I was making it to 20 years and was ready to find something new. I live here in the Highlands, and I was driving by and saw at this time, this was a framing shop, a frame shop. It's been many, many things over the years, but it was a frame shop. And they had moved out, and I saw some blinds that said Cat Cafe opening, and I was not at all familiar with the concept of a cat cafe, even though I am a crazy cat lady. And enthusiast, that's right. And emailed Chuck, and then we met right away in April of 2018. And I was on board from the beginning because, this person can talk you into anything. And so then Robert was next. Thank you to Barbara next door at Renaissance because she allowed us to use her space because there was no air conditioning. There was a table and 2 chairs and.
Well, no. I think the table was drywall.
Was it? Okay.
It was a stack of drywall.
Yeah. And then we started I think we got 300 applications, correct?
Yes.
And so we went through, hired the team. And then it was just, Robert is procuring local vendors, and then we had to get all the licenses and get ready for the Kentucky Humane Society and, everything going on. And we finally said, we're going to open on International Cat Day, which was August the 8th. And Chuck's daughter and I, Kayla and I, are literally sweeping drywall dust out the back door. Yeah, I think we still are. And we had the velvet rope out front, and we welcomed everybody, and we started getting reservations, and it was piling up and piling up and piling up, and we thought, oh my goodness. Oh, and I don't think we had an ice machine at the time. We didn't have alcohol yet, but we knew from the day we opened that people were going to get on board with this. And still to this day, we're getting people coming in saying, I had no idea what a cat cafe is, or what is this place? That's what we get more than. What is this place? Because they see cats and they see alcohol and they see coffee and merchandise. They're wondering, what in the world is this? How were you leading up to the opening and things like that? Because I remember I was very sleep deprived. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have to work here for the rest of my life, and I think I'm going to move in. Go ahead, Robert.
So, like Rosemary said, I was third. So I had worked at a major bookstore retailer for 14 years. And as you probably are aware, that isn't really, brick and mortar stores are not where it is so much for that anymore. So they eliminated my position, which was tragic at the time. I didn't know what else I would do. It was pretty much all I had done for my adult life. And I think I saw an article in the Courier Journal about this place. And so just like you, I immediately was Googling, and I think I emailed Chuck like a dozen times. He was probably like, oh my God, I just need to talk to him so he'll leave me alone. But I remember us meeting at Renaissance, and we did the interview, and at the end, Chuck said, okay, we're going to talk about you now, so we need you to leave. So that worked out great. The first week, I also remember not sleeping. I remember it being really hot. I remember we had an ice machine. We didn't have a coffee machine. And the day we opened, we got the license for the alcohol. So I had to go and get the gas for the alcohol that day, which if anybody knows how much gases cost, that's expensive. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to put it on a credit card and Chuck will pay me back because I don't know what else to do. So
I didn't even know that story, by the way, until like...
Yeah, I was like, I just need to get it there and we'll worry about it later.
I hope he has money.
But yeah, it was, and then that first week, the plumbing broke. Yeah, it was, not a lot of sleep. But it was worth it for all these little cats. I remember, this is what we're going to do. Do y'all remember the names of the first 20 kittens we had? Okay, so here, get closer and we'll talk together.
I know there's Athena.
Becky.
I
get Becky.
If
Rachel,
Becky's adopter is watching this,
I'm trying to jump in because I don't know I don't know the names as much. I know I was in love with Becky. Becky was like I bonded because the cats came in here about 4 or 5 days prior to the actual opening. So we were in here and like she had said, sweeping and cleaning and everything. And yeah.
Athena, Kelly, Becky, Regis, Mulan, Joey, Rachel.
We'll have to quiz you later.
That's all the ones I can think of.
I know.
There were like 25.
It was emotional though, because I remember, it's not just the animals going so quickly, which was one to great homes so quickly, but it is just sleep deprivation, trying to work this. Remember, there is no manual for a cat cafe.
Oh, I wrote one.
I
wrote the employee manual.
There is that. But, I'm sorry, Farrah. So we didn't know necessarily what to do, and then literally we were booked for 3 weeks straight. If you tried to go in on the same day and get a reservation, you'd have to go to the next day. So that's what I mean by 3 weeks straight. Every single day was fully booked. We were going over the numbers, and and again, a shout out huge to the media that was out there too. I told my wife, I said, hey honey, I just want to let you know that this 25-year-old young lady was chasing me down the street. Because it was such a neat little concept and no one knew what it was. And I think the media was like, hey, this is a great story. A time when we told positive stories, or we had positive stories, other than COVID. Oh, look.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Zoe.
Are we friends?
I borrow this.
So
I think another thing too, Chuck, is and the media was pretty on board. They were fascinated. I think we had some other people in the area that thought, I know you have a story you can tell about that.
I do. I think it's fun. So if you know our location right here, one of our favorite parts, the fire department right next door. They help take care of the cats. They shovel. They did shovel. I don't know if you noticed that.
Brought us stray cats that they have rescued.
Yes.
To take to the Kentucky Humane Society.
So this fireman stops me and he says, "Hey, Chuck, I got to talk to you." I'm like, hope we didn't violate a code or something. Said, "I saw what it is that you guys were doing, and I looked at my buddy and I said, I'll give it 2, maybe 3 months tops before this goes under." And then we opened up in August, so this was early summer. People are walking around here. This is a high traffic area. And they said that they had to close their doors because people were bugging them so much about when this place was going to open up. And he said, "What's going on here?" Then we opened up, and he said, "I saw people walking in and out of your place from morning till night for a month straight." And he said, "Well, a lot I know about business." He said, "I have been woken up. You guys must have done something great there." But that was kind of funny. And again, no one knew what this concept was. And I think, again, that's what the media was so responsive to. They're like, "Oh my gosh, whole new concept here." Even though, quite honestly, people say, "Hey, you came up with this great idea." I said, "No, I did not." But thank you very much for thanking you for bringing it here to Louisville.
And I think a lot of people have questions. I know you get, "I want to open my own cat cafe. I want to open my own cat cafe." And hopefully one of the things we can talk about as we go through this is, how intense of a process it is.
Yeah.
From the business acumen to the love for animals to just the common sense to the software, everything that goes into opening a cat cafe. And we can't do that without the passion of our team. All of our team members have such a servant's heart, and they are hard workers, because you leave this job at the end of the day and you are tired, but we always say it's a good tired.
Yeah.
And that way we know we've done what we need to do for these rescue animals.
You've made an impact, and I think that's also another good segue. As we started finding a success, started building the right formula, we were actually approached by Kenton County Animal Services, Becky Ryder, who was the shelter director there at the time. And she said, "Hey, do you think," she actually approached KHS, said, "Do you think he might be interested in doing one of these in Northern Kentucky?" And they knew enough about me to know that I was actually born and raised in Fort Thomas. Huge Reds fans, Houday Bengals, cannot believe it, but I am so excited that they are Super Bowl. If you don't know, the sports ball is what our team calls it there. But I was like, "Yeah, this would be great. I'll have 2 locations." I'm not afraid of risk, by the way. But I'm like, "Let's start it up down there. I'll go down there for my Reds games." Then, of course, COVID hit. So the amount of curves that we have had to adjust to has been unbelievably. They have been incredible there. Louisa, Heather, our top cats down there, and the rest of our team just made the sacrifice, and that's the commonality here. This is not a normal thing for somebody to say, "Hey, I took a new job at a coffee shop and now I'm sleep deprived because I just wanted to do so well." And it's the cats, it's the love for the animals, and that's somebody else, by the way, was asking me. They're like, "Oh, I didn't know you were really cat crazy person," or it's just a friend of mine that doesn't know. And I said, "You know what? Sometimes you just have to keep your eyes and your ears open for an opportunity to impact. It may not be what you thought was coming down." I'm about to lose.
Zoe's
my
going to
drink.
enjoy a beverage.
Yep, she is. So I just said to myself, this is an opportunity for us, and I think that's the same story that you guys are sharing, right? It happened to be there, and
All came together.
yeah.
And we'll share lots of fun moments just here in Covington. But one thing I always say, I'm amazed, and every day I'm amazed when we, just yesterday or just Saturday, we were on a wait, and we had to say, well, just like parents, we're on a 4-hour wait.
Yeah.
You can come back at 7:00 and we'll be able to help you. And the people are going, "What?" And that's 3 years in we've opened up our numbers for COVID and everything. But one thing that I've been amazed at is that I always say, our team has been determined not just to survive, but to thrive. And every single person who works here, who volunteers here, which we'll talk about that, Kentucky Humane Society, it is such a team effort. And I'm amazed every single day. People come in, they put in the work, they put in the love. We're here for the cats. We're here for our customers and our visitors to be a destination. And our community, it has been nonstop. It has been nonstop.
Mm-hmm. And
it's just every single day we're so blessed, so blessed.
Yeah, and when we see our community, only 15% of our customers come from 40205, 40204. People are traveling everywhere to come support. And kind of bringing this full circle, that's what this YouTube channel and podcast is about. We asked ourselves how we can further our reach in order to support our mission. Adoptions, shelter impact, and becoming almost a cultural, pinnacle, a cultural lighthouse for animal lovers alike. Not just cat lovers, but animal lovers alike. And that mission has developed, but in order to take it to the next level, we're going to have to expand this radius. And the way we expand this radius is to come to you all and to reach out and be able to provide you with content that is ultimately going to continue that mission, help those shelters, get other animals adopted, not just from here, other cat cafes, other shelters. And the way that can help, the way you can help, to help us make that happen is for you to share this video, click subscribe, click like, whatever the technology is. I'm learning. Committed to it. I do watch a lot of YouTube and some of those other things.
Just share away.
So we just want you guys to share away. That is a way that you can make a difference. It will absolutely be one of our subject matters to share how you can make a difference. And there's a lot of ways, but we want to tell you the good ways. Those are the ways that actually make it happen. So yes, they appreciate when you bring towels and blankets to the shelter, but you know what? Their medicines cost a lot of money. Their vet care costs a lot of money. Spay neuters, their structures, their everything that they do. Employees, and employees. And they are amazing, guys. I mean, we have fun. We have a niche kind of people here that absolutely sacrifice. But you want to talk about a giving hand. Those folks who just go in there and do what they need to do and get exposed to animal deaths and just tough things. So you can help out by subscribing to this podcast, telling everybody a little bit about it, and then hopefully you entertain, right?
And come see us.
That's right. I should say that. Covington, Kentucky, Bardstown Road in the Highlands. Come by and visit us. Come by and see one of us.
And support your cat cafe that's in your community if you're not able to come see us.
Absolutely.
Make a reservation.
Let's make a reservation.
So many people show up on a Saturday. And by the way, just one of our top hints that we have, if you don't, especially during this COVID period, if you're not comfortable with as many people being around, come during the week. Any place. I would imagine I'm speaking for most cat cafes. Come during the week, come during the day. Those are times when there's not as many people here per hour. And every one of those cat cafes, I'm sure, have an amazing story, but we are very nostalgic about how this happened. I cannot believe it happened, but it only happened because of a great team and a great community of supporters. And hopefully that's something we can count on as we further this mission digitally. So with that, we hope to see you again, and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you, and make it a perfect day. Bye, y'all.